It's the Thursday drivers' press conference from Budapest ahead of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Joining us today, Romain Grosjean from Lotus, Nico Hülkenberg from Force India, Felipe Massa from Williams, Roberto Meri from Manor, Felipe Nasr from Sauber, and Sergio Perez from Force India. Well, gentlemen, clearly all our thoughts this Hungarian Grand Prix weekend are with Jules Bianchi and his family. Many of you were at the funeral this week. Perhaps we should start with a word or perhaps a favourite memory from the drivers about their colleague. Romain, would you start?
Well, as you can imagine, I've got questioned a few times. I cannot pick up a favourite memory because I've got too much with Jules. I think the first time I heard his name was back in 2003. He was a much better driver in go-kart than I was. He was a bit younger. Then he did follow up in all categories what I did. He won everywhere. And I think we shared a lot with Jules. So it was a very nice ceremony. It was very emotional. His parents were, I think, happy to see us. And of course, it's this week all our thoughts goes with him. But personally, I will never forget that we race and that we race for Jules as well.
Felipe?
Jules, first of all, he was a great friend, because I met him, he was still racing a go-kart, because we have the same manager, and Nicolas started to work with Jules. He was still at the end of his go-kart career, and I met him on that time. And for me, he was a fantastic boy, very nice, very humble, and amazing driver. So unfortunately, in Formula 1, he didn't have the opportunity to race in the competitive car. To show his talent. I think he shows anyway, by finishing in the points in Monaco with the car he was driving, which everybody knows it was like a amazing thing he did on that race. But for me, the experience I had with Jules was also, we did a lot of go-kart racing together, even in Brazil, and in my experience, he was the best go-kart driver I saw. So it was amazing the way he was driving go-karts, and it was maybe the opportunity we had to race together in the similar, kart, So, and it's not nice to see what's happened, So it's really was so difficult to be there in the church, to understand what's happened, and it was so sad. But I'm sure he's in a good place now, racing, enjoying, and definitely looking here to all of us from whatever place he is. I don't know, but I think he was an amazing boy and a fantastic driver that I really hope the best for his family as well, because it was a very difficult day to be there.
Thank you. Roberto?
Yeah, first time I met Jules was in 2002 in a karting race. It was a race in Spain, and he was coming from France, and normally when you are that young, to come to a track that you don't know in Spain, that you never race, it's really hard to be quick. And I remember I was really surprised to see that guy that was really quick immediately on that track, and he really impressed everybody. And after that I followed him really, really close, because we used to race together in go-kart, and he was always the driver, the reference, because he was all the time the quickest and doing really great things. And obviously when I jumped into Formula Renault in 2007, we did a few races together, because he also jumped in 2007 to Formula Renault. And again, he won straight away the first year of the championship. It was really incredible, no? For me, it was the biggest talent I saw in motorsport. And also when I raced back in 2008, my first time with with IF3, we were fighting against him, because he was the man to beat that year. And he won the championship with so many good drivers on the track, and he won it really easy, and just winning so many races. And I think that shows how good he was. And for me, to be honest, it's a really shame that he was not able to really show in F1 car what he was able to do, because I think he was I mean, the best driver that I race against, and it's a bit of a shame what happened, no, in Suzuka. But hopefully he's in a good place and enjoying.
Thank you, Felipe.
Well, I met Jules in one occasion only, where we shared the track in this go-kart race. What Felipe does, well, he used to do every year, and it was really the first time I got in a conversation with him, and you could see the guy was special. You know, he not only as a person, as you know, for sure he had a good heart inside of him. But all his techniques, I think all the junior categories he's been through, as everybody mentioned, he was a real reference to all of us, especially for me. I was always a few years behind him because we didn't have the same age. But you could definitely see he had all the ingredients to be a very good driver, and to fight for something bigger in the future. But I have all the respect for him, even though I didn't know him that so well, and I wish the best for his family as well.
Sergio.
Yeah, I met him when we were both doing in GP2, and when I really spent more time with him was in the Ferrari Academy, when we were both doing the Ferrari Academy. And you could see Jules was a very special driver, but also a very special person that everyone seemed to like. Really, he was just very humble and very human as well. And he really left a big impact in the world, you know. I mean, as we all share the same opinion, I think Jules was a very special driver that didn't have the opportunity to show what he could do in Formula One. I think in his short period, it was just enough to realize that he was a potential champion for the future. He was just a very, very special driver. And yeah, it's very sad, you know. We share, as a drivers, we share many moments every Sunday, every Friday afternoon in the drivers briefing. And sometimes we're not the best friends, but we always share moments, you know. We do the same, all of us, and we see each other every 15 days or so during a whole year. So we spend a lot of things together, and not to see him ever again, it really shocked you, you know. And it's very, very hard for all of us, and I'm sure not only for the drivers, for everyone who is involved in the sport, to lose someone, because you know you could be there. It could be your family. I was talking the other day to his father, and it's just very, very difficult for the whole family. But his family is our family now, and we really want to support them as much as in any way, because Jules will stay with us forever. And I think what Jules did for the sport, is just a great ambassador for us, and he will always be in our hearts.
Thank you. And finally, Nico.
Yeah, he's been my teammate twice, in 2008 in Formula 3 and 2012 in Formula 1 here. And I remember in 2008, I was in my second year in Formula 3, supposed to win the championship, and he came in as a rookie his first year. And I remember this race in Mugello. I was starting from pole, and he was starting second or third. Anyways, we take off. I'm leading, he's second, and I'm seeing him in my mirrors, pushing really hard, you know, really chasing me down, trying to get me. He was burning his tires at the time, and I was saving them. But anyway, it just showed how competitive he was, and he was so hungry for success. But even outside the track, you know, he was a great guy, a lot of fun, a lot of great moments together. And yeah, we'll all miss him.
Okay, thank you. So back to you, Romain. First lap at Silverstone obviously was extraordinary with both Lotus cars out. It still seems as though the team is still leaving a lot of points uncollected. What are your feelings at this stage of the season, and where you go from here second half?
Yeah, we, you know, after last year, it was important for us to get a good baseline when we started the winter testing, which was the case, and then we had some missed opportunities, especially in the first few races where actually Felipe did very well. He finished P5 in Melbourne, where we could have finished, and then it was the same in in Malaysia. Then we got in points. Things were looking better, and unfortunately, we were a bit less lucky. In the next races, made a mistake in Canada, cost us a good chunk of point, and then last race we couldn't do much. Retired both car at the beginning, but I think we still have a very good baseline. We still have few updates that we would like to put on the car, and then we could chase a little bit more Force India, which just got in front of us in the championship.
Okay, thank you. Felipe Massa, coming to you. You had 19 laps in the lead at Silverstone, including the opening lap. How did it feel to be in control from the front again? And how does the team avoid a repeat of what happened at the other end of the race, where the podium got away from you?
Oh, I think it feels amazing to be in the front. It's really a great feeling. Unfortunately, it didn't stay until the chocolate flag, but it was a great feeling to be back on the front, to be back fighting on the for the victory at least, So we couldn't manage to win at the end, not just for the first moment we lost the first and I went to second, but also for the rain. I mean, we were struggling a lot on the rain, and it's definitely part of our working to improve the car on the rain. And but I mean, I think we need to take also the positive things, that the car was competitive. Maybe we were very close to Mercedes. Even if they were a little bit quicker, we were not far. I mean, I think we were very close on that race. And I think this positive aspect needs to stay in our brain, and we need to try to understand how we can do that again, but also stays in the front and finish and trying to win the race. I think we will keep pushing.
Okay, thank you. Nico, coming to you. Over the last few races, we've seen Force India take a step forward even before the new chassis arrived, points, finishes, etc. That was on power circuits. What difference will the new chassis make here on this type of circuit, do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be good and positive. The B-Spec car has really, so far, talking about Silverstone, lived up to the expectations, what we wanted from it. So that's very positive and encouraging. I think, obviously, having collected a lot of data from both cars in the race, we're able, in those 2 weeks now to go through it and optimize even more. Plus, there's some more tweaks to the car here. So, I'm excited to see how we're going to get on here. But yeah, I expect it to be quite good.
Felipe, and how's it coming to you? Congratulations on your contract extension announced today. Why was staying at Sauber the right thing for you?
Well, I think it only builds up the trust between myself and the team. Although I think it was always the plan when we came to Sauber for the first time, the opportunity came, and I felt it was the right moment to take it. And it's nice to see the team. They put in a lot of confidence on myself, and I think looking back at the year we had already in these 7 months, we've learned a lot together. We did achieve a lot. I think we did achieve most of what we expected, especially in the beginning of the year when we had some great results. As mentioned, the Australia 5th place was fantastic. And after that, we saw things coming a lot more difficult. And from the driver's point of view, it's always easier for us to say, where the car needs to work, and the team is seeing, all the limitations we have at the moment. And I think everybody's leaning towards the direction of improving things out there. We saw Mark Smith coming up on board in the team. It's already the beginning of that, and by having the two drivers, the same lineup, I think it only brings more of this information together, and that we can be committed together for 2016 and build up something a lot more promising.
Okay, thank you. Roberto, coming to you. You're a bit unusual in that you're running a parallel Formula One and World Series program this year. You're on the podium, I believe, at this track earlier in the season. How comfortable do you feel in Formula One now, and what happened with that accident at the end of the last race in Austria?
I mean, yeah, the season in Formula One, every time is going better through the races. At the start of the year I was struggling a little bit, but after Monaco, everything went better, the race pace, and after the quali in Montreal and the race pace in Montreal, Austria, and then the race in Silverstone was really good. And yeah, I mean, obviously I am doing another championship so far, the World Series season. We had so many issues at the start of the year with so many engine problems or top speed problems, let's say. And then, yeah, exactly in this track, we were missing 2 seconds on Friday. We changed 70% of the car, just pieces. And then the next day I was P5, I think, on quali, or P6, something like that. And I finished second on the race. And then was a strong result, let's say. And yeah, last weekend in Austria, I started the race and I had a failure with the steering wheel. I was driving all the race with the steering wheel like bent completely, like 50 degrees to the left. And after the race, I wanted to just do a slow lap. I moved to the right just to try to avoid the people coming to the left. And the next time I checked the mirror, the car behind me was 3 seconds behind. And the next time I checked the mirror, he was like 5 meters behind me, coming much quicker. And yeah, and collide into my back. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, it was a bit strange, to be honest. The situation, I think it was really unlucky. Thanks God nothing happened to both drivers. We are both okay. But yeah, I mean, he could race the race afterwards, and yeah, nothing else happened.
Okay, thank you. Antonio, coming to you, obviously points in 3 of the last 4 races, but in the in-house battle, Nico recently has had the edge over you on qualifying. How's the matchup going with Nico? How do you feel about it?
Yeah, obviously it's been the last 3 races. He obviously has scored more points than what I've done. I think with the B-spec and with the upgrades, I haven't get on as well as he did in the last races. Still plenty of championship to go. And I think it's important that we keep improving. And I'm very optimistic coming into this track. I think what we've shown in Silverstone was just the proof that the car has improved massively. So I think in a track like this, it will be really interesting to see how we go, because obviously here the engine is not so important. And I think our car has improved a lot, and we have plenty of data to analyze from the weekend before. So I think we have plenty of reasons to be optimistic into this weekend.
Okay, thank you. Let's throw it open to the floor, please. Who's got the first question for us? Name and publication, please.
It's Livio Riccio from globesport.com. To all drivers, I'm sorry to come back to the subject of Jules Bianchi. This was the first time your generation faced the death in Formula One. We saw many of you very touched, and funeral couldn't be different. Do you think that even maybe unconsciously you start avoiding some maneuvers, some high-risk maneuvers from now, or maybe even different approach to the races?
Will it change the way you drive? Nico, do you want to take that one first?
I mean, it opens your eyes and tells us what we're doing, the sport we're doing. There's still some risk involved. I think you just have to be aware of that, and make your own choices at times in the car, how much risk you're willing to take, and be comfortable with it. Yeah, I think for me personally, that won't change too much.
Felipe?
Well, I don't think it changed. I think it's when you close your visor, I mean, you want the best. I mean, you want to finish in front, and you want to do the best you can, and maneuver, overtaking, the way you drive, your thinking. I don't think it will change, because I remember, I mean, when I had my accident here, when I start driving again here in Hungary, always when I pass on that place, I don't remember I had the accident there. So you don't think about it. I mean, you really stays on the past. Maybe when you go out of the car, you remember about Jules or about other things, which is now I remember about my accident, but when I'm driving, I don't know. So I don't even think I have a mother, father, my son, my wife, or whatever. You don't think about it. You just think about your job and your work, and I don't think that will change. So, but now I have Jules all the time on my mind.
Sergio, go along with that?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, when something like this happens, you know that there is a big level of risk. It's what we love to do, and when something like this happens to a colleague, we all know that it could have been ourselves in that car. But it doesn't really change anything. I've had some accidents in the past, and you know that the risk is there. We all know. It can happen in any practice, any day. As soon as you jump into the car, you know that the risk is very high, but it doesn't really change anything. As Felipe says, we want to give our best, we want to succeed, we want to take every tenth out of the car, so we just give it all, and I don't think it will change, and we all have to make Jules very proud.
Roberto?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it changed much, but for sure you think more about it. For example, I was racing here with the World Series, as I mentioned, and out of the fastest corner on the track was a car crash, and a tractor came in to recover the car, and they didn't put a safety car. And then, to be honest, when I saw that situation and a yellow flag, I really slowed down. As maybe in the past I will not slow down so much, because after that you think more about it, you know. I mean, you are more afraid that, you know, things can happen. And to be honest, it was not a really... I didn't feel so comfortable on that situation, and I really live on that corner, losing maybe 3 tenths per lap, because I think it's a dangerous corner, a dangerous situation, as we can see. But obviously, I mean, I think for a single lap or for a start, like a normal situation, I think it will not change. But for sure, this time when I left my house was not the same, like the way I say goodbye to the family and that, you know, because, you know, things can happen, and maybe before we never even stop a minute thinking about that.
Romain?
Well, I think through our career, it's becoming our nature to take risk, and you know, I think when you drive, especially a Formula One car, going that quick around the corner, you need to be 100% in the car and not thinking about what could happen if and if. So you just do your best. We know that it's a dangerous sport, and I think that was a hard way to remember that. But when helmet is on and visor is closed, is racing 100%, and that's what we've been always doing, and that's what racing driver we always do.
Felipe?
Yeah, I'll agree with what everyone else said. We are racing. That's what we come here for. And we do face some risks sometimes. But I think since then, you know, this virtual safety, you know, the virtual safety car thing was a good positive point to have, in a way, to avoid kind of circumstances like it happened with Jules, you know. But it's also linked to us drivers to know this kind of situations and to be aware of it, you know, in dangerous conditions out there or whatever. Is something we all have to know what is good for us, you know, what we have to do, what is safe for us to do. But as all the others do, you know, like I do as well, when we are racing, we're not thinking about these things.
Okay, thank you. Let's next question.
Peter Vámosi Vasnépe, question to Roman. In 2010, you had the opportunity to drive a Ford GT car in Le Mans. Next year, Ford is coming back. Are you interested in that, driving again in Le Mans? And are you allowed to do that?
Well, I've got that experience, and it was a great experience. If I do again Le Mans, it would be the LMP1, because I got tired of watching the mirrors in the night and the day. So I was quite jealous of Nico winning the race, you know, I think all of us. But to be fair, I haven't thought about it.
Would you recommend it, Nico?
Just for the watch, or?
Next question, please. Name and publication, please.
Juana Popoio, F1Zone.net. A question for Felipe Massa. Do you believe you can benefit from the new starting procedure? I mean, if you look at Silverstone, you had a very good start there, but that wasn't enough to stay ahead Mercedes.
On the start, yes, he was enough. So after not. But I believe I can still be competitive in the start. I mean, to be honest, I always had a great start. I mean, even last year I had a trophy by the best start of the season, you know. And this year I did many good starts as well. So I believe I will still be competitive on the start, and I don't think really should change a lot. I mean, the procedure is more or less similar. Maybe you have less informations, but I think the procedure will not change completely. So I really not worry about that.
Next question, please. Name and publication, please.
Daniel Johnson from The Telegraph. A question for Felipe, especially after your accident here. I just wonder about two things. First of all, what view do you take on the whole open-closed cockpit debate? And touching on something Roberto said about the recovery tractors, are you and the rest of the drivers comfortable with them still being in use as they are now? Thanks.
Well, I think if you go back to what's happened to Jules, many things change after that. So unfortunately, now we need to see that type of accident, you know, to understand that what's happened. I really agree that the Formula One changed a lot, especially after Ayrton Senna's accident. And I believe the car is very safe now. We always need to keep working to improve the safety, you know. Not just the cars, but the tracks and everything is very safe now. So what's happened in Japan, it was a different situation. What's happened in Japan is something that I cannot accept, you know, because a car crashed on the tractor, you know, and it was a race that it was a very strange weekend, you know. So we had the typhoon, we have people asking to do the race on a different time. So we have the red flag already at the beginning of the race. So it was already a different event, you know. So, and I am sure after that accident, so many things change, and people understand that what's happened there is something that not supposed to be happened, you know. So, and we had some different rules after that for the virtual safety car, for the more safety cars, you know, especially if the car goes out of the tracks and everything. So, unfortunately, we need to see that type of accident to change something, you know. But I think the most important thing is that not to see that again, you know, not to. Unfortunately, Julius is not here anymore. But you know, even so many things change in the past because of accidents, unfortunately, you know. But it's important that we don't see that anymore.
And the comment on the open cockpits in your own situation? I
think I'm not completely against it. You know, I think something that it needs to be, if it's better for everybody and it doesn't change the aspect of the Formula One, you know, or maybe not closing the cockpit, but doing something, you know, that they always did since years to improve the safety on that area, I'm not against it.
Okay. Next question, please. Name and publication, please.
My name is Gábor Jó, Index Online. And a question to Felipe Massa. Basically, could you clarify us your contract situation with Williams for next year especially? Will you stay there?
I hope so. So, I mean, nothing changed at the moment. I mean, I don't see why I should not be there. So I really enjoying to work with the team. So the team is really respecting me 100%, and I think I'm enjoying the way I work with the team as well. I see that the team is growing, still, you know, growing and getting stronger, and most of the time. But what people wrote a few days ago, or maybe a week ago, you know, I don't think really this guy has the right information. I think he just put in the paper, and I don't think really. I believe I will drive for Williams next year, you know. But I think maybe the chance that this guy is correct is bigger than the, you know, he risk in the way that he can be correct, you know.
Okay. Next question. Name and publication, please.
My name is István Simon. I'm from Auto Magazine, Hungary. Sorry, a lot of questions to Mr. Massa, but this one goes to him as well. Nelson Piquet has admitted just recently, or a couple of years ago, that he's had serious problems with his vision after he's had the big accident in 1987 in Imola. You've had the big one here in Hungary a couple of years ago. Is everything all right 100% with your vision now?
Oh my God, I mean, it was 2009. I mean, still racing after years, and if I cannot see, you understand before that. So you understand maybe the race after, or 2 races after, you know, so I can see very well.
Okay, next one.
Tom Richter, Sport TV. Question for the drivers in regard to 21 races calendar next year. So it looks like it's ever increasing. How difficult is to adapt your already busy schedules? And do you think there is actually some kind of limit of number of races per year which is feasible for you as Formula One drivers?
Roman, why don't you start with that one?
I think the limit will be the divorce.
Any more to add, or just leave it at the one-liner? Felipe Nasr.
As I said, I mean, it's more time away for sure. Really, I mean, all of us, not only us ourselves drivers, but everyone here. I'm sure they have other parts of, apart from Formula One. Everyone has a life behind that. So, but in a way, I'm young. I'm in the opposite direction to him. So, I'm fully open to as many races they can do it, and let's go for it.
You see, they want to get rid of the old one, which are married and with kids.
Nico, anything to add?
Not really. No, I think it's fine. It's a job, and yeah, we'll do as many as they tell.
Tough to fit Le Mans in a 21 race calendar, right?
Maybe.
Sergio?
We already have 19, no? So 2 more, it doesn't really change a lot, I think.
Roberto, anything to add?
Yeah, obviously I am doing 19 F1 races plus 9 World Series races, and I don't think it's a problem next year to do only 21. It will be less races than this year. To be like, I am the same as Felipe, I am not married, then I can go for it.
Okay, let's move on. Any more questions, please?
Joel Godina, Best of Radio, and my question to Roberto. Your team is very young in Formula One, but it had two tragic accidents in the past years. How difficult to manage this within the team?
I mean, obviously I think they are really, I mean, to be honest, you cannot complain about the team, no? For the situations, it's a really, it can happen to everyone. The team has nothing to do with that. I mean, the people of the team, they are really nice people. It's the best team bosses you can have, and they are really open to speak with the drivers, and the treatment they give to you is really good, and I am sure they always do since I met them in 2009, and I feel really comfortable to work with them. Then I mean, it's just a kind of bad luck that they had in the team. I think it's nothing to do for them what happened, and for sure they are the first one that they are really down with the situation, no?
Any more questions? One more. Name and publication, please.
Louis Dekker, NOS Netherlands, for Felipe Nasr. Your new contract, does it mean the future of Sauber is solid now? And are you 100% sure that you're the only 2 drivers on the contract?
A lot better, than it was a few months ago, and all we're trying to do is to improve, is to develop the car as much as we can. And as I said, I've been driving a pretty much similar car I had in Australia. So as I said, we achieved the goals we had from the beginning of the year. Now, of course, it's getting more difficult because all the teams are improving their cars. The development rate is much bigger in all the teams, but by having early on this confirmation, I feel we can, starting from now, to think about 2016, and I can tell you there's a lot of more positive things coming.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much. Good luck this weekend. Full transcript of the press conference available at www.fia.com. Thank you.
Enjoy Sky Sports F1 Live on all screens, on the go, and the best bits on demand.